Hey guys, I'm in Israel and this is my new backyard. So over the past couple of days, we've been acclimating to our new life here in Israel this year. I came with the kids so that they can start school. Dan is in the midst of flipping a house and he will join us as soon as he comes. But there is so much to do aside from, sleeping off the jet lag and trying to get the kids on an Israel time schedule. Last time I came to Israel, I came for like 8 days. So now we've been here like about 6 days or something. This is about the time when I come out of the jet lag and then I gotta go back if I'm on a whirlwind trip. But we're here to stay, so the pace is much slower. We're just taking our time getting all of the arrangements that we need to get done for all the things that we need to do. But first, we had some visitors this week. Look who came to visit us! Netta and Shachar. We're standing in this Garden of Eden of a backyard.
It's an amazing house.
Amazing
house.
Thank you for visiting us.
Of course, we're so happy you're here.
What tips do you have for people coming from America, dealing with Israeli culture shock?
Wow. Be patient, because people are not really patient here, so you should be. Drive slow. Trying the food, I think. There's very good food in Israel, good restaurants and good food in the markets. Good fruits and vegetables. I think it's sad to say, but be safe.
How should we be safe?
Look around and see that everything is okay. I don't know.
We have to always watch for where the shelters are, right? I've been keeping an eye out.
Yes, but these days it's better. I think it's okay not to. I'm going with my little baby around and not all the time thinking about the shelters, but go to a place that there is more people with you.
Go with people, go by yourself. You don't want big crowds, but then you don't want to be by yourself.
Right, so yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. But maybe better tip is to be not afraid of everything, because most of the time it's okay. Everything is okay. The things that happen, it's really rare. So enjoy. Go to the beach.
And you know what? That's why we're here, because we're not going to give in to terrorism.
Right.
And that's why we're here. That's my cousin Netta and her husband Shachar. And when they came to visit us, they brought with them some special guests. We have a built-in resident of the backyard here. Not the cat. She is our porch cat though. We feed her and she hangs around. But the people that are the special guests were my Aunt Judy and my Uncle Dorion.
We are excited to have you here in Israel. I think you are going to have a beautiful and a wonderful year with the children. They will learn Hebrew. They will be here. They will come to Jerusalem where we live. They will celebrate all the holidays. Wonderful, wonderful year.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
What a year it's going to be.
The best year.
The best year.
The best one.
My aunt and uncle are Netta's parents and they welcomed us to Israel with a bunch of treats.
Watermelon, cakes and everything. Hummus, falafel.
What kind of an impact do you think it'll have on the kids to be here for a year?
I think they're going to be Israeli air jet fighters.
Check in with us in a year. We'll see how their Hebrew is.
Yeah.
All right, then we had to get to it. I mean, we had already signed a lease from America on a house, so we had the house covered, but we still needed a way to get around. It's now 7 in the morning. My kibbutz dad is coming to pick me up in about a half an hour to go and buy a car. The kids are super jet lagged, but because I don't have a babysitter, I'm gonna go wake them up. Oh.
Yeah, this cat loves me.
We have a little visitor.
Mommy, look.
She really loves you. Usually cats in Israel carry diseases. They're all over the place. If you come to Israel and you see cats, don't touch them. But we were told that this cat is okay. She's had all of her inoculations and she's good to go and she will hang around as long as we feed her, so the kids are happy to do that. So we took the kids. Initially I was thinking that they would come with me early morning to come and figure out the situation with the car, but my kibbutz dad, there he is, he told me that my kibbutz sister would be happy to watch my 3 kids in addition to her 3 kids, so we dropped the kids off at their house on the kibbutz, which was amazing. So then we hit the road. We had already been in contact with what kind of a used car we wanted to buy. He reached out to the seller, so now we just needed to pay and to meet at the post office to make it official. And then we had to get insurance. That was like a whole other level of Israeli bureaucracy. They just couldn't understand why I had an Israeli passport, but I didn't have an Israeli driver's license, but I had an American driver's license. And so we had to like explain the whole situation. Anyway, it was like a thing, but we figured it out. I don't know if you can hear that. There's construction going on around me on the kibbutz. They're building a new house right next to us. Meanwhile, this week that we arrived, Israel started a counterterrorism operation in the West Bank in cities like Tulkarem and Jenin. Tulkarem is literally across the border from our kibbutz, and so it's been a little bit crazy, and Iran has threatened to attack Israel. However, they've been threatening this attack for weeks, and while Israelis are taking this threat very seriously, they're also making a lot of jokes about it, and my kibbutz dad doesn't seem very worried, so it's nice when you take the cue of somebody else that's been here. If they're not worried, well, you know, it kind of calms you down. The way he puts it is that if I want to do something, pretend it's in a heavy Israeli accent, if I want to do something, I just do it. I don't talk about doing it. So Iran is talking about how they're going to attack Israel. Meanwhile, everybody is just living their lives, going to work, going to vacations, going to the beach, doing what they have to do. They're keeping an eye on shelters, and they're listening to Israeli command if they need to stay close to home, if they're in certain regions, but our region hasn't really been affected. I do have to say, though, that the people who live in the north have been extremely affected, and about 100,000 people are still displaced from their homes. We even have a kid in one of my kids' classes that was displaced from the north and didn't really get the education he needed, so he's kind of doing a lot of like extra work to catch up with the class, just because of all the problems that they've had in the north and how they haven't been able to have school there, nor are they having school there this year. All the kids from the north are in other schools in central Israel. Anyway, my kibbutz dad told me he wasn't really worried about the middle of the night alarm that we got on our phones. He was more worried about the traffic to get to the post office in order to meet the seller of this used car so that I could get the car. So now that we're just a couple days away from school starting, we coordinated 2 days of school visits with the teachers at the school that the kids are going to be going to. They all get to go to school together because elementary school in Israel goes up until 6th grade. All right, we're about to meet the kids' teacher for the first time and see their new school. So the kids' school is at a nearby kibbutz where they raise turkeys, and the second you open your car door, you are welcomed with the pungent smell of turkey poop. It kind of goes away as you walk in through the gates and into the school grounds. You don't smell it in the classroom, but whoa, do you smell it when you first arrive. It's like the kibbutz is sending you a very pungent welcome. Oh, hi!
היי, ברוכים הבאים.
תודה רבה. We just visited the kids' school, and it turns out we have some supplies that we still need to get, including school shirts, so we're on a mission. Okay, so I'm in the upstairs hallway of my house, and I wanted to show you what the school shirts look like. They're just basically t-shirts. You go to a t-shirt shop at like one of the main stores. It's called Fox, which is basically like the Gap, and they have shirts in all colors. And then the neighborhood store has the emblem of all of the area schools, and then they just, like, you pick your shirt and then they add the emblem to the t-shirt. You can pick whatever color you want. See, oh, see, here it is in white on the t-shirt. I have a dark gray one. You know, the kids picked the t-shirts that they liked. And they have another one. They have all colors. They have, like, you know, pink and blue and orange and whatever. That's their uniform, is a t-shirt with the emblem. The fancy first day t-shirt needs to be a white t-shirt. And if they do any sort of a ceremony for the hostages, then they have to wear a yellow t-shirt, which we didn't get yet because they were sold out, because everybody's buying yellow t-shirts. I'm gonna put these back in the kids' closet. Now, I wanna show you something. Before I arrived to Israel, I was getting notifications from the school, and I was told that on the first day of school, the kids have to wear a nice white shirt. So I made sure to bring them to Israel with a typical polo shirt that looks like this, right? A shirt like this. When they saw this shirt, I was told by the other parents, like, this is a fancy shirt for Israel. Israel's very casual. So like a white polo shirt with a collar, That's like what you wear to a wedding or a bar mitzvah. That's like super fancy. You don't wear that to school. So on the first day that my kids met their teachers, that was also the day when we got word that the IDF had made another hostage rescue. They rescued a Bedouin Muslim named Qaid Farhan Al-Qadi, and the whole country was absolutely ecstatic, joyful, hopeful, happy. And I just have to add it here because it really shatters the narrative that Israel's an apartheid country. Everybody was thrilled with this rescue. It just gave a little bit of hope and happiness to the whole country for a moment that they had found another hostage, because it doesn't matter if this hostage is a Muslim, he's still an Israeli. Yes, there are Israeli Muslims. There are about 2 million of them here. This is the type of life in Israel that those anti-Israel protesters on campuses, those kids that have never even visited the Middle East, it doesn't really fit their narrative. And so it's confusing to people, because when you're told time and time and again that Israel's an apartheid country, it doesn't make sense why Israelis would be happy to have saved a Muslim. Well, I'll tell you why they're happy. We're all Israelis here, whether Jewish, Bedouin, Muslim, Druze, Baha'i, or otherwise. If you're an Israeli living in Israel, then you're an Israeli. There are no Jews in Gaza. No Jews are living in Gaza except the ones that were stolen from their homes by Hamas. And I wouldn't call that living. So if you're confused about this narrative, come and visit. It's so beautiful. Send me a message. We'll talk. That's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to be here, to be able to show you life in the only democratic country in the Middle East, which is Israel. So what's interesting to me is that we're learning that Al-Qadi now is working with Israeli intelligence, because he's a native Arabic speaker, and so he's working with them to tell them what he heard while in captivity. And I'm sure it'll all come out soon. Now, the next day we went back to the school to visit my youngest son's teacher, and she showed us their beautiful classroom. She showed us the bathroom, how to raise your hand. In Israel, you raise your hand like this if you need to go to the bathroom, and like this if you want to ask a question. And she also, of course, showed us a room that every school building has, which is the safe room. You can see there's a fortified door here. This room is made out of concrete so that it can withstand a direct rocket hit if that were to happen. And it's set up like a classroom so that they continue their classes. In America, we have fire drills. In Israel, they have rocket attack drills, and they all file in to the safe room. And by the way, when you drive around Israel, you see at every roundabout junction almost, you see these signs. They say like bring them home, or they say things in Hebrew like no peace without them. There are posters of the hostages. There are yellow chairs set out like an art exhibit remembering the hostages. These hostages are not forgotten, and the war is not over until they all come home. It's very personal. It's very personal. Everybody knows them by name. Anyway, life in Israel, though it can be stressful, it is amazing. There's nothing like the atmosphere of love and togetherness than what you have here in Israel. The kids have already made tons of friends, which is why you might be wondering, why am I home by myself? Well, that's because the kids have gone off to their friend's house. All the kids knew that they were coming, and so they were very excited to meet my children. Axel has already been invited to a birthday party. We had to stop by the mall again today to pick up a birthday present. So they are like having the time of their life. This is not the formal life that we have in America, where you have to be driven everywhere. The houses are so far apart, and there's only like a couple of people on your street because you can't go further. This is like a whole entire community with a gate around it, and the kids just run back and forth, and it's safe, and it's protected, and it's secure, and everybody knows each other, and everybody's friends. And the kids grow up together. I was a little worried because they're coming into their elementary school year. My oldest is coming into the final year of elementary school, but I didn't have to worry at all because they're all so excited to meet them. And the fact that they speak English is, they're really enthralled by that. And my kids are learning Hebrew from the kids here, so it's really been a dream. Honestly, I don't know if they're ever gonna wanna go back. They're having the time of their life, but we'll see. Meanwhile, I still have some logistical things I have to get done. I have to register the kids for after school programs. I have to figure out how to run my laundry machine, and just some other things I have to do. Wrapping up loose ends, and then I can really get into it with you with what life is like in Israel. And once we do that, I'll be able to vlog a little more consistently. But in the meanwhile, you don't wanna miss anything, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to see what life is like in Israel this year. during wartime. We are here just fine, and I can't wait to show you what life is like in Israel this year as my kids acclimate to school and I reacclimate as the Israeli citizen that I am. More to come later. Bye, everybody.